Hey, welcome to Awkwardly Awesome Podcast. Um, have you ever gone to war with yourself, gone to war, to battle with yourself? My guest today, Oelker, says we as humans talk trash to ourselves every day, and we stuff ourselves with junk foods to bottle up the feelings we try the hardest not to feel. I'm excited for Kat to give us some ideas on how to make peace with ourselves because these battles are so exhausting. And so, awkwardly awesome episode number 31 or 32, whichever episode it is, starts right when I find the starting thing. And that's really professional. Okay, it starts now. Now. It's fun saying no. Say it with me. No.
Today's guest, Oelker.
Hi, Kara. Before I bring Kara on, I'm going to tell you a little about Kara, which is why she was on for a sec, but now she's on. Kara Oelker is an intuitive health coach who resides in Cincinnati, Ohio. She is the founder of Deepened Roots Health Coaching. Kara helps clients define what healthy feels and looks like by focusing on the basic principles of nutrition and cutting through the thoughts and feelings that hold them back in their own personal health journey. Care offers individual nutrition consulting sessions for those who simply need help applying the foundations of a healthy diet. She also has a 90-day one-on-one coaching program that helps clients uncover what's stopping them from living their healthiest lives so that they can take back the personal power and establish habits that serve them. Now help me welcome Kara. Hey,
Hey, good job. Oh, I love it. So happy to be here.
Thanks so much for taking your time to be on Awkwardly Awesome Podcast.
Of course. I'm just honored you consider me also awkwardly awesome.
Yeah. Cool. It is an honor to be awkwardly awesome. I
Yes.
also consider myself awkwardly awesome too.
The
And
best.
it's an honor. The first question I want to ask you is, how did you pick intuitive health coaching? I mean, there's like different professions, like professional bowler, professional fisherman, archery person. How did you pick health coaching?
I mean, archer sounds pretty cool. That would be neat. Get a little braid, be Katniss Everdeen. Yeah. So I picked health coaching because I went through my own health journey. I was first diagnosed with celiac disease and several years ago, and I thought that it was just normal to feel crummy all the time until it just got so unbearable. And I started having actual reactions to eating gluten after I had cut it out for a couple weeks too. So I went to the doctor, was tested, was diagnosed with celiac disease. And I thought, okay, the cure is to just not eat gluten. So no bread, no pasta, no no pancakes or donuts, right?
No monster cookies.
No monster cookies. And I thought that's the cure. Just don't eat anything that contains gluten. And from there, a year later, I noticed that I was still just feeling horrible. And I went through a bunch of other testing. I had a bunch of outside allergies too, just always congested. Found out that I was not only had an array of other food intolerances and allergies in general, but I had Candida, which is an overgrowth of yeast and your body, and that can cause an array of health issues. And on top of that, just major gut dysbiosis. So my doctor literally was like, Google Candida diet, and then sent me on my way. He also referred me to a nutritionist. The nutritionist was like, I mean, you have this on pat, you're good, and sent me on my way. And I thought, no, but I'm not good. I'm not good at all. Like I still feel crummy. So I did go down this rabbit hole of trying to fix myself. And I found out that while there are times and places to fix issues, the end result is to not fix yourself. It's to always correct. It's always to look and see what is going on and what works to not make that happen anymore, to just feel better, in a way that your life just feels good, that it serves you, not anyone else. And from there, I ended up being my own health coach. A lot of resources online. I stayed away from the extreme stuff. Like all you need to do is drink celery juice and take all these supplements and la. Like I decided to stay away from that, but I decided also to stick to science and figure out nutrition basics. And okay, so Candida, like starches really affect Candida, and I'm trying to eradicate that. So how do I make a balanced meal out of that without just starving myself, right? And the goal, once I went from fixing myself to wanting to just thrive in my life, that's when it just switched for me. And that's when I decided, okay, I need to be this for other people. And I found out that it was in a way of a health coach. This is what health coaches do. And while I cannot diagnose things, I take the information at hand. I take the information you give me, and anything that you may have in terms of diagnoses, what your doctors say and nutritionists, whatever. And we come up with a plan that is, and I love how you categorize me, mind, body, soul. So I guide you through that because it's more than just diet. It is everything. And the hardest part is realizing that your thoughts and feelings dictate how you eat as well. If you're down in the dumps, and let's say instead of eating like one monster cookie, you end up eating 10 monster cookies because that's your way of coping with life. And then you feel horrible afterwards. The goal is to not just be like, okay, well, I'm not going to eat monster cookies anymore, because then you're going to feel bad about it. And you're going to want to go from like no cookies to all the cookies and then repeat the cycle, right? So part of the health coaching for me is also deep diving into the thoughts and emotions and saying, you know what, let's lean into this shame. Let's lean into why I feel the need to eat my feelings. Let's lean into why I feel ashamed for eating my feelings. And let's work our way out of it. And that's where the intuitive part comes in. Because ultimately, yes, there are nutrition basics, right? Sometimes the extra stuff outside of that just isn't conducive to everyone. But the basics do for most people. And oftentimes, unfortunately, mass marketing and food especially, they have this way of thinking that we're all the exception, but we all have the basics that we need to survive. And there is a small percentage of us that, you have certain things and you need to course correct, right? But that's not what you need to do all the time. So going to the basics, learning what that is and how that feels for you, and then going from there, really leaning into yourself, understanding yourself and feeling strong in it, and then going from there. That's the long answer.
Thank you. Rachel already said inspired, and then she like thriving instead of fixing.
Yes, I love that. I often say thriving instead of merely surviving, and I love that too. Yes, Rachel, amazing. Yes.
So you got into this journey of health coaching. Often I think we think of dieting as just losing weight to look better. And that's one aspect of it, but you point out that also can be serious quality of life issues going on, like the way you were before you understood how your body related to food. You felt not good, and how you ate made you consistently feel not good.
Mm-hmm.
And so how so if food can be the significant in our lives, how do we work with, like you said, the shame and perfectionism that keeps us stuck in the cycle of, of eating poorly and then feeling remorse, and then eating poorly and feeling remorse? How do we get off that treadmill?
Well, you know how when you're on a treadmill and let's say you go from like a walk to a faster walk, and then before you know it, you're running and you're at a full sprint, right? And then you push the button and the button just doesn't stop to stop. Like, because then it'll jerk you and then you'll land on a wall or something, your face, right? However, gravity allows you to fall, right?
Yeah, and I never like it when my face lands on a wall. That's just not something I enjoy.
Sounds really inconvenient, to be honest. And
Yeah.
so it's the same approach, right? You don't, to be intact, right? Like overall, mind, body, soul. I say just make room for all of it. You know, if you make room for yourself to just be full sprint on a diet for a while, or a specific way of eating, like proteins, fats, carbs, equal amounts, and lots of veggies, and you feel good after eating, a certain amount, you're not stuffed and you're not starving either. And, you have that meal and you even anticipate just a little piece of cake or a monster cookie, right? And then that's your meal. Like, just make room for all of it. And I feel like you can never lose with that mentality. Even when I was dealing with my major Candida overgrowth, which my doctor said was the worst he'd ever seen. I'm like, great. I'm glad I won a medal in that area, right? Like, it took a lot of eradication. So there was that time and place to do that. But I still allowed myself to get creative and be like, well, I can't have chocolate, but I can have cacao beans and like ground up cacao like nibs, right? So I'm like, okay, cacao nibs. I can use Swerve, and then I can eat a little bit of almond butter. So I made my own little like Reese cups, and they weren't like the greatest, but it still made me just happy because I was like, well, this is what my body can allow now. And instead of, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to eat anything, right? So sometimes your body, like, you really do have to eradicate and like just like the whole expression, like, just handle it with kid gloves and just like just be delicate, and then but still allow for joy. Otherwise, you're just going to be like, why am I doing this? And then you get so angry and then hangry, which is the worst feeling. And then before you know it, you're in this spiral of negative energy because your body just wants a Reese cup in some form, right? And so
you're talking my language now.
yes, right? And like the majority of the population can eat Reese cups, and Reese cups are also gluten-free too for the celiacs, in case you want to know. But so the majority of the population can eat Reese cups. So it's like, hey, if you want a couple little minis or a few little minis, just have it, right? How do you feel? Like, pay attention to when you want to devour the whole bag. What's going on in your life right now? And be okay with the fact that you have these thoughts of inhaling a whole bag of Reese cups. It's okay. But looking at that and not beating yourself up, that's like incredibly powerful, because that kind of allows you to course correct and be like, well, I don't really need that. Or let's say you do end up inhaling a whole bag, then you can be like, well, next time, since I allowed myself to feel the feelings, yes, hangry, yes. I love Rachel, thank you. But just allowing yourself to be like, okay, yeah, I messed up, but next time I have a better plan. That's equally powerful. But yeah, just allow yourself to have it all. Just, you don't have to have all of it. So
allow yourself to have it all. You just don't have to have all of it. I will. That's profound.
Thank you.
And also the concept of that being on a diet of some sort. Or first of all, do you even use the word diet?
I do, actually. Only because here's the thing. The word diet has become a dirty word, but the word diet wasn't originally a dirty word. So I love the history behind words. I love root words. I love understanding where they came from, what they mean. And the original word for diet was from the Greeks, and it was dieta, and that meant way of life.
Wow.
And then the Latin language made it dieta, and that is like in terms of like measurement and being kind of strict and monitoring yourself, right? And so that's kind of how that has been taken and run with it. But just take the Mediterranean diet, for instance. The whole basis behind it just is, it touts the whole experience of the way of life and just living your life through the amazing food you're eating, taking time to enjoy, your portion of pasta with fish or chicken and olive oil and and olives, right? Or whatever you want to put on your pasta, like anything, right? And just taking time to enjoy it and savoring it. So there's that, right? And then the mainstream, and most of us do think, oh, diet, I have to really think about it and restrict myself. And
we think of words like diet, like struggle, miserable, almost like a penalty, like I've done something wrong, so I have to go on a diet.
You ate a monster cookie, time out, right?
Yeah.
I have to go on a diet. I have to go on a timeout. Yeah, no.
Time
So I
out, bad, not good. But
so I
you're
use the
saying
word,
a diet can be joyful. It can
yes.
be fun.
Yes. So I even if it's a very small mission, I want in my own little parts of this world, I want the people that I interact with, my clients and just people I talk to feel like diet doesn't have to be a dirty word, that it doesn't have to bring on shame, that it doesn't have to put you on timeout, that it can be and it is a way of life.
Rachel's getting it. She says, "Yay, fun!"
Yes, Rachel.
Yeah.
Yes, diets can be fulfilling, not miserable.
Changing subjects a little bit. How does setting good boundaries relate to overall health and a joyful diet in particular?
I love it. So it has everything to do with it. So if you are a yes person and you're like, yes, I will do this for other people, I will do everything and anything for other people, and I got you.
Like a people pleaser.
Sometimes if you give all your love to other people, you don't take time to give that to yourself. So that may translate into forgetting to eat because you're rushing around taking care of other people. Or it may translate into feeling shame about not being enough. So you eat a bunch of monster cookies to physically fill the void of not feeling enough, right?
That's never what happened in real life, but
No, never.
just kidding.
You apparently have, I'm sure you have a very healthy relationship with monster cookies.
So keep going, keep going.
Yeah. So, just setting boundaries, healthy boundaries that allow you to feel safe and to feel comfortable and to thrive just as much as other people around you can feel safe and they're able to thrive and do their thing, right? And letting them feel their feelings, think their thoughts. Hey, you're on your own, but I got you. Like, supporting, but not over giving. And you give yourself enough. And that kind of completes the whole picture, right? So having those healthy boundaries emotionally, mentally translates into, okay, what do I need to eat for me today? That feels good, that tastes good. I want something that tastes good. And, I'm going to be a little busy this afternoon. So, what do I need to eat to carry me over until then? And just thinking about it that way versus I have to give of myself, or else I'm nothing. So that's how it translates into health.
So 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 I just am seeing how many times I can say the word "so" in a row, and so far I'm doing really really good. The answer is a lot.
Yes.
It occurs to me that you're talking about a sense of balance in both diet and then a sense of balance in how we relate to the people around us.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oftentimes we assign ourselves identities. And we all have an identity, right? But oftentimes we assign ourselves identities that are outside ourselves versus inward. Um, we want to be the best mother. Um, we want to be the best, brother or son or friend or neighbor, right? And we focus on that. But really, what if you just focus on feeling like the most important person in your life, because the longest relationship you have is with yourself. So how do you make yourself feel good and grounded and strong in your own purpose so that you can be there for other people? And so that's just incredibly important to establish. um I kind of lost my thought too, so we're doing really good.
Just, it, I haven't thought of this for a while, but it sounds like self-confidence has a lot to do with healthy eating and healthy relationships.
Yes, because I work with my clients, and I'm saying this because I've been there. I've felt this. Sometimes what boils down to it is they don't know if they're worth it to them, like to themselves, to truly have their health goals. They want to, because externally, right? They want to be that great mother. They want to be the great professional. They want to be the great neighbor, whatever.
So they think they should do the health goals.
And they should all over themselves, Jason. But yeah, instead of this is really how I feel. This is my purpose. This is how I can help people the best, because this is me and these are my strengths. And just giving people the confidence to be like, yeah, you know what, this feels right to me. what I've been told about diets or food in general, that never felt right. And I always was fighting with myself and empowering people to say, you know what, that doesn't feel right. I'm not going to take that methodology anymore. I'm going to do what feels good for me. Even if it's short lived. And then they're like, oh, I was so ashamed of, showing my confidence, and then I shrunk again. Sometimes that does happen too, but the more you work on it, it's like a muscle. The more you work on it and you're like, this is really good. It empowers you to want to keep doing it because it feels good. Humans are hardwired to survive, but we're also hardwired to find what feels good and what's comfortable. So if we're comfortable about just being our own beacon of light and just being little powerhouses and bam, then we're going to keep doing it because it feels good. But oftentimes, and again, speaking from like former experience, right, past experience, sometimes we're in this mode of shame and not feeling enough that in a weird way feels good because we don't know anything differently. To do something else, to do something good for us is uncomfortable and terrifying. So it's allowing that human experience of growth and enoughness to become comfortable enough that you want to keep doing it again and again.
Wow. Yeah. So you're saying so many just amazing things.
Thank you.
One is we're hardwired for survival, but we're also hardwired for joy, and to be able to do both, to survive, but also tap into the joy is amazing.
Yes. And I do want to note that sometimes people are afraid of the joy, but the comfort of whatever they're used to, people want to go towards what they're used to because that's comfortable, right? Just like, hey, that's why you have picky eaters too, right? I have some family members who to this day still love chicken fingers and mac and cheese. That's comfortable to them. That's what they want, right? And while I don't fault them because chicken fingers and mac and cheese sounds amazing right now, there are so many other things that nourish you and fuel you. So it's getting out of your comfort zone and saying, hey, but I like this too. Or the equivalent to liking something is saying, I'm going to survive it if I partake in this. It's how our brains work. I like vegetables. I'm going to survive if I eat vegetables versus I don't like vegetables. Broccoli is going to be the death of me. It's how our mind works. That's why you have toddlers just reacting so strongly against, vegetables or grown people.
So we don't need to necessarily fall in love with a new healthy food to eat it. We just need to understand that we'll survive eating it.
Yes. Yes.
Huh.
Your mind is working. I love it.
And the more we like, this is not a great example, but I think from my own life that I've just never liked coffee. I not that drinking coffee is very healthy, but I just never liked it. I never told myself I'll survive by drinking coffee enough to acquire a taste for it.
Yeah. And that's actually a really good example because I survive on coffee. I don't drink a lot of it, but I do have my cup in the morning. And for me, I do think of the health benefits of at least one cup of coffee. One, gut motility. Um, AKA helps you poop. So, that's helpful. Also,
But there's beans for that.
yes. Well, yes, that is true, right? But for those who are like, you know what, I'm going to try coffee, and then they end up just loving coffee. They're like, you know what, I'm going to survive on coffee because I love it, and there's no aversion there. I like it, right? And you can find benefits, and that also separates people from, hey, I like my cup of coffee. I'm going to enjoy 1 cup a day and I'm going to be good, versus I love coffee so much, I'm going to have 6 cups a day, right? It's kind of like food, right? So you can overdo it in coffee, but it is just taking what works for you, what your mind is okay with, what resonates with you, and going with it. So you don't like coffee, great. Let's, look at other things that you do enjoy, and, like, what do you like, and what are the benefits, and do you overindulge, and what's your happy medium, and just really sticking with what works for you.
So, like, if someone doesn't like rice cakes, there's different options.
Yeah, such as you don't need rice cakes to survive.
Yeah, which is thank goodness for that. I mean, thank goodness.
Well, and you bring up an amazing point, actually. You equate rice cakes with healthy. And
No.
I'm not knocking rice cakes, because there can be a time and a place for something like that, right? It's healthier than like Snicker bars or whatever, right? There's always
Monster cookies.
or Monster, maybe not. But there's sugar in there. So let's say you really love rice cakes, but you look on the back of the nutrition label and you're like, oh my gosh, what are all the ingredients in these rice cakes? That is ridiculous. I want to make my own, right? So you make your own rice cakes out of puffed rice cereal and honey, and you call it a day. And that makes you really happy, then great. But if you don't like rice cakes, then what kind of snacks do you like? Are you eating enough during your meals to where you maybe you eat enough during your meals that you don't need snacks, or maybe you just focus on like the plain popped rice cereal and some peanut butter. I don't know, but there's always options that, I feel that the key to, if you see a packaged food deemed healthy, look on the back of the packaging and look at the ingredients and look at the content, right? Protein, fats, carbs. Some snacks are only going to have carbs, and that's fine. But how much sodium is in there? And then what can you add protein and fat wise to make it a balanced meal? So let's say you want a snack, you're hungry, and you need to eat something, but all you have is potato chips. Well, do you have what proteins or fats do you also have to kind of add to it? Do you have like an avocado you can cut up, with some tomato, which is just, like tomatoes are amazing. And, or I don't know, do you have like some like meats or something? I don't know, just kind of throwing it off the top of my head. Just Proteins, fats, carbs, they can't really steer you wrong. And if you eat potato chips, fine. They're not going to kill you, right? But you don't need to eat rice cakes or low-fat yogurt to make yourself healthy. What's healthy is sticking to balanced protein, fats, carbs, and veggies, because veggies are amazing.
Veggies are amazing. I love it. Rachel is taking notes for us.
Yes,
as we
Rachel,
go through the interview.
She is on fire.
It's so wonderful.
Yes. Rachel, do you have permission for me to follow you on social media? I would love to just say hi and thank you for being amazing. I'm waiting for that reply.
Okay, I'll tell you when it comes up.
Perfect. You're amazing.
She said yes.
Yes. Yay. Facebook, Instagram. I know I'm hijacking your show, Jason.
I'll be sure you're connected.
Okay, perfect.
So what about the idea of I ate too much for dinner last night, so I'm going to skip breakfast this morning to kind of atone for eating too much for dinner last night.
So you're bringing religion into your body's needs?
Maybe atone's not the right word. kind to make yeah, let's take atone out of that to
make up.
So I ate too much for dinner, so I'm going to skip breakfast to make up, to balance it out too.
So here's a couple of things. People do intermittent fasting, and sometimes it can work. It can work. You really have to figure out what works for you in that regard. Don't just do it because other people are doing it. Sometimes it is like a trial and error, right? I want to see what feels good. Sometimes it can be a reset. But what are you doing in the meantime? Are you drinking plenty of water? Are you drinking tea? Like teas are allowed, water is allowed, coffee. Some say coffee, no creamer. But whatever.
Some say only creamer.
Okay. I want to know those people. Those people are amazing.
Those people may have the name of Jason Freeman.
Jason. Okay, yeah. So that's an amazing attitude to have. But just kind of, it goes back to your thoughts and feelings around it. So if you splurge on a huge meal the night before, and it's maybe a later meal, and then you go to bed, and then you wake up and you're like, I'm still feeling sluggish, right? Treat yourself to some water, just a couple glasses of water when you're waking. Movement is so important. So, honor your body by moving, stretch.
Honor your body by moving.
Yes. Elongating yourself, stretching, just taking care of yourself, more water or tea, whatever feels good, right? Because if you eat that huge meal and then you get up and you're just like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And then you're ashamed of it the whole time. You're stressing yourself out. And your body, I know I'm throwing so much information at you today, but your body cannot work in a stress state. Okay. When your body's stressed, your eyes dilate, your, senses are heightened because, that stress is the equivalent of a bear chasing you. And if you wake up and you're like, I can't believe I did that, that's your mind saying, oh my gosh, we're getting chased by a bear. Let's do this, right? So your body's not able to digest the food that you ate.
So it's like a double whammy.
Yeah, it's a double whammy. Not only
Holy.
are you just a jerk to yourself, but your body's not able to function. So it's keeping it all up in here because your mind thinks for all it knows that it's going to die soon because it's chasing this bear that doesn't exist in your mind. And I'm not saying
Or being chased by the bear.
yes.
Not chasing the bear.
I mean, whatever makes it fun for you. If that's what you do out in South Dakota.
Yeah, there's nothing to do, so I just go chase bears. So what would you say to people who, and I've thought this in the past, that being in a heightened stress state helps me perform at my peak capacity?
Okay, so I am just kind of taking a page out of Mel Robbins on this. She's this, speaker and guru, and she's also very tall and blonde and beautiful. And she says that she tricks her mind into when she's nervous, she tells herself she's so excited. So if she's nervous speaking publicly, she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be speaking publicly. And she's tricking herself into, oh my gosh, this is the best thing for me and the entire world. And that's the difference. That's what helps you get through it, but not prolonged because that burns you out. But giving yourself that time to be like, okay, I have to be on it. So I have to hype myself up. That's why sometimes when you see athletes and they like jump up and down because they're trying to physically get themselves in an excited state, that's the difference between I'm so stressed out, I have to do this or else I'm a failure. That does no one any good. But after that, you have to, after your excited stress state, which sounds horrible, but your excited stress state, you have to give yourself downtime. You have to give yourself love. You have to give yourself, your body and your mind and your spirit love. Just like after playing a game, whatever game, sports, name a sport,
Professional fishing.
Maybe not so much that, but let's say basketball. Thank you, Rachel. Yes, excitement versus fear. Yes. After the game, the guys go to the locker room and then maybe they deal with PT, right? And they'll get like massages or they'll take care of their bodies. They'll rest because your body needs it. And it's the same way, like, you can have your meal, you can have your huge meal, wake up the next morning and give yourself love instead of grief and be like, okay, that was really good. I feel like crap, but I'm going to take care of myself now because I'm listening to my body. And then you give yourself love and just care, and then you work through it. And then you're like, okay, great. Got to get crap done. I'm so excited. Let's do this. And then you go. I'm sure you do that every day. Got to do this. I'm excited.
Yay!
Yeah.
So, I love the idea of instead of beating beating ourselves up and going to war with ourselves about eating that big meal. Just say, oh, that was enjoyable. Now it's time to do something else, like drink water and move a little bit. So we stop moving that energy instead of just staying stuck in a cycle of like, I ate a big meal, I feel bad, so I'm not going to eat all day. But then I'm starving by 9 o'clock at night, so I eat another meal and it just
Yeah.
eat another huge meal and it just continues over and over again.
Emotional constipation.
Emotional constipation. Did you just make that up?
I'm sure I've heard it somewhere, but I don't know. I've just had that term for so long. Like I've just used that term for so long.
So can you
If
say
I'm
a
the first to say it though, I want to trademark it. I just want to say that.
Yeah, it's amazing. So how do we notice when we are emotionally constipated?
Practice, because you don't know it right away. You're too busy not feeling your feelings or giving yourself too many feelings and making you feel way too down on yourself. So you're just like, stuck and everything's pushed down, right? But when you start realizing that that's what it is, that you're just stuffing yourself and nothing's going through, nothing's happening the way it should. You're not feeling your feelings the way that humans are meant to feel their feelings, and you're aware of that. That is probably one of the most powerful gifts you can give yourself, awareness. So just having that awareness and being like, do I want to keep going on this train or do I not?
What would be a good external thing to notice about to alert us that we are emotionally constipated?
Are you always down on yourself? Are you the first one to beat yourself up? Are you physically just like clenched in? Are you breathing? I know, like sometimes we don't allow ourselves to properly breathe. So, do you give yourself time to breathe? Um, have you have you pooped today? I know it sounds gross. Sorry, body talk.
But it's what the human body does.
Yeah. If not, then like what are you freaking out about on the inside? That it's not happening for you on the outside. So, are you taking care of yourself? Like those are key indicators.
So say we notice that we're not breathing very shallowly. What should we do then? Just be like, oh, I'm breathing shallowly, and then just do nothing. And
No,
I'm
breathe
breathing
more deeply.
shallowly, right?
Yeah, you breathe more deeply. If you notice it, which is great if you are aware of it. When I first started kind of understanding the power of breath, I didn't know that I wasn't breathing. Like it was very shallow, right? Just enough to
Yeah.
survive. And I wasn't taking those breaths. So it may be a practice of yours to if you notice like, why am I out of breath, or why am I just feeling so panicky? Just take a deep breath in, hold it, and then breathe out longer than you breathe in. And repeat.
So it's not like rocket science.
It's just listening to yourself. If you're
Wow.
not breathing, breathe. Notice what feels good. Some people like 4-4-8 breaths. You hold it on for 4. Or you breathe in for 4, hold it in for 4, breathe out for 8. 5-5-7. 6-6-8. Whatever works for you. Just breathing. Some people box breathe, but because it's breathing in, holding it, breathing out, holding it, I always end up feeling like I'm not catching my breath.
Oh, so a box breath. I've never heard that term. That'd be 4-4-4-4.
Yeah, it would be
Wow.
4-4-4-4. And then you're just like, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Yeah, that sounds kind of. So as we start to wrap up here,
This hour has flown by the way.
Oh, it's so fascinating. Then we could talk for another 2 hours. There's so many nuances about health and being joyfully healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want to leave the Agwali awesome tribe with?
Aside from thank you so much for this opportunity. I was, as I was telling you before we were on the air, I am intentionally just making space for just goodness in my life only right now. And I'm being very intentional, even when things go haywire. I'm just bringing in and keeping the sunlight. And this show was just part of that. I really wanted to just be here and talk with you. So thank you so much for this opportunity. And so I wanted to say that first. And second, just thank you, audience, for listening and watching. And if you have any questions about health coaching or what Mind Body Spirit Guide, what that means, just if you have more questions and you're curious about figuring out what serves you in your health journey, definitely reach out to me. I have a presence on Instagram. It is at Deepened Roots Health Coaching. All one word. I'm on Facebook as well. You can visit my website at deepeningyourroots.com. And I just love talking to people
Okay,
in general.
it's deepening.
Deepening your roots. Yeah, I like to throw curveballs. I wanted it to feel like an action statement that you're deepening your roots when you visit my website.
Wow, that's nice. So definitely visit Kara's website to deepen your roots.
Yes. I love talking to people and how I might help them and
So is that, did I get that way?
yes. Perfect. Looks
Cool.
perfect. And I always say if we're talking and you're like, oh, I really kind of want this extra or whatever, or this is a kind of the path I want to go. I know people too. The goal for just the human experience is to just be together, right? And connect and be of service to everyone. So that's my goal. And if you just want to talk, reach on out to me. I look forward to hearing from anybody. Just everyone, all of y'all.
That's beautifully said. The goal of the human experience is to connect. So just reach out. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Well, it's been such an honor to have you on the Awkwardly Awesome podcast. thanks for delving into this topic that's just so much part of all of our daily lives, and putting giving us hope that we can approach it in a joyful manner. That's just it's so refreshing.
Yes, thank you. You can live your life well and eat your monster cookies too.
Oh,
Oh,
that's music to my ears. Thank you.
you are very welcome. It's a pleasure.
So what wasn't that just amazing? I learned so much. I love doing these awkwardly awesome podcasts because I get to talk to just amazing people who know amazing things, and Kaz definitely one of those people. So I hope you enjoy it too, and you're inspired to take your next steps forward in life. And please tune in next Wednesday for another awkwardly awesome podcast at 1 Pacific, 2 Mountain, 3 Central, um, 4, 4, 4 Eastern. And if you live somewhere else, congratulations. That sounds exotic. And goodbye. Now the time for the outro. And I probably wasn't supposed to announce that. I mean, you could just see that it was the outro coming on, but now you know for sure. So here it goes.
Today's guest, Oelker.
Shit! I didn't mean to say that. This is supposed to be PG. Okay, well, that wasn't the outro. Okay.